Hey guys, welcome back. So in this week's video, I'm going to show you how you can make your own ambient trip hop, dream pop style track. It's a genre I've been listening to loads and it's been really fun to recreate. I'll basically show you all of the steps apart from the vocals, which I am going to show off in another tutorial on the We Rave You channel. You can find that in the link in the description. Go check that out and show it some love. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so let's look at the drums first. I think an 808 kick will work for this style, so I'm going to listen through it for you and pick a favourite. Yep, this will do. Although it's a little too hot on the transient, so I use the fade to tame down the beginning of the clip. Now let's create a groove. I'm going for a more jaunty kick pattern here, placing the beats away from the obvious downbeats. I found a couple of nice patterns, but this is the one I'm going for. I'll copy the bar and add some variation. Now I'll duplicate again, and actually I'll have it repeat the first pattern twice and then the second pattern twice. To add some more variation, I'm going to heavily fade the beginning of the kick to give us this. And I'll also reverse the final kick to round off the 8 bars. With the pattern in place, let's tweak the kick's sound with a compressor to bring up the quieter parts, a hot tube to add some saturation to the low mids, and a wild looking EQ because why not? Finally, a utility set to mono for balancing out the levels of our channels. Okay, now for the other drums. A strong feature of this style is the use of real drum samples or breaks, so I'm going to kind of do both, creating a drum pattern from breaks. So let's load in a drum rack and find us some drums. I'll go through my sample library, listening out for characterful drum hits, ideally with no overlapping sounds and a full tail. Nice, I think there's something we can use here. And again with this one. All we need to do is bring the sample into the sampler. As you can hear, we can play back our break. Let's adjust the in and outs to isolate just one hit. Yeah, that's a real nice snare hit. We can definitely find a home for this. Alright, let's keep hunting. Yeah, let's grab this. Perfect. I've always wanted to say this. Here's a drum rack I made earlier. Now let's get creating a beat to match our kick pattern. I'll start by popping this shuffly percussion hit at the start, with one of our 2 snare hits on the 2nd and 4th downbeat. Now the close hats every 16th note. I'll tweak the velocities to add some human variation. You can hear the off-kilter kick pattern and straight drum grooves pair nicely together. Now for a snare fill. I want this to sound like it's been played by a human, so I'll tweak the velocities and copy the MIDI over to the 2nd snare sample, shifting the MIDI fractionally off-grid. The benefit of drum racks is that you can apply effects to just one of the sounds. I want to EQ the hat to just be the top frequencies and give it some reverb. I recommend tweaking each of the sounds at this stage, but you can also just apply effects to them all at once. Here I've applied the Vintage Sampler Redux preset to tame down the high end and give it an analog feel. I'll also EQ like so. Wicked. Now for a bass. Let's make something that won't take centre stage, but will help fill out the low end and pair nicely with a kick. I'll load in wavetable, turn on the sub oscillator, introducing 30% tone, and then enable oscillator 2. For that, let's make it 1 octave down and detune both oscillators 5 centitones each way. We just want a low, soft, harmonically simple set of waves for this. Now, bring the filter down to around 160 Hz with a 28% resonance. Set the slope to 24 dB and the mode to MS2 with 4 dBs of drive. Now for the amp envelope. Set the decay to 1.89 seconds and set the sustain to -13. Nudging the attack up to 2. Now for the envelope 2, which we'll use to modulate the filter. Bring the sustain up to 100% and the release to 100 milliseconds. And now for the matrix. Apply 3.1 of envelope 2 to the filter's frequency. And 15% of the amp envelope to oscillator 1's warp for some added punch. Oof. Now let's set this bad boy to mono and apply some effects. Hot tubes for a bit of warmth in the mid and lows, and a compressor to sidechain to our kick. Finally, let's round out the high ends and boost it in the lows with an EQ. Utility for the balance and to make sure our kick is in mono. And now we have a nice bass to add some ambient elements to. When I was making this beat, I thought I'd just type in Ambient to see if there are any good Ableton presets, and well, this is what I found. Let's use this drifting ambient pad. I'll have it follow a bass pattern, with long MIDI notes paired up an octave higher. I do want to soften the sound a bit more though, so let's turn those triangle waves into sines. First, a bit of EQing, and then to slap a big reverb on it. I'm using the free Valhalla Supermassive, which I've shown off before, on one of the large reverb presets. Basically any big reverb to space the sound out even further. See, it's all coming together. Now let's throw this dreamy ambient synth in just to accent one bit of the melodic progression. I initially auditioned this at the start, but thought it would actually sound better to round off the 4 bars. Now, again, let's slap on an EQ and utility. I'll also apply an LFO to modulate our panning, so our sound sweeps from left to right as it plays. I'll set the boundaries to 25 and 75 so it doesn't start and end on absolutes. The final thing I wanted was something to play a simple melody, and I came across this Ambient computer mallet instrument rack. It's really something. As you'll hear, it's got a load of versatility. I'll tweak it a little, making the reverb and echo stronger with some more feedback. See, I told you. Now I'll just play a little jingle in, quantize my bad playing, and voila! Sounds great. Very zen. Now for a bit of balancing, and hey presto, a blissed out beat for your next dream pop vocal performance. So that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something from this. I really enjoyed making the tutorial. As I said at the start of the video, it's a style of music that I've been really loving listening to lately, so it was really fun to recreate. Also, don't forget to check out the vocal tutorial, which is up on the We Ravey channel. Like, comment, subscribe, really helps the channel out, and I'll push to 10k subscribers. Maybe we'll get there one day. And with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one.